What's going on, guys? I hope everyone's staying safe out there, and that being said, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at a rather interesting little fitness tracker slash smartwatch, and this guy is a sub $10 watch. This is the CY11. It's a rather nice little device, but we'll get into the details of it here in a minute. So we get our basic little instructional guide. It's both in Chinese and English. Gives you the basics of usage and how to install the app and how to pair it with your phone and stuff. Fairly informational, not the best translated thing in the world, but it gets the job done. So let's take a look at the device itself. Now you'll notice this is just in a little plastic thing. This is how it shipped to me. It had the instruction manual, this little plastic tray, and the watch was just chilling in there. It was wrapped in a layer of bubble wrap, but there was no box, so we don't get anything humorous on the box to show you, unfortunately. We'll get that out of the way and take a look at the device itself. Now, you see the, if it'll focus, come on. I know you want to. Going to have a bit of trouble focusing on this screen. We have to hold it out of ways. The display on this is very, very nice and bright. It's fairly large for what it is. And I have a custom watch face on there, where we'll go into that in a minute. But this is what I like to refer to as a one-button watch, meaning the bottom button here is the only interaction on the device. So everything consists of tapping and pressing and holding. So to cycle through screens, you just tap. To get into one of them, if you want further details, you press and hold so we can activate the stopwatch. Like so. So now it's running. Press it again, stop, and then press to exit. And there we go. Now we're out. So you can get into your messages, you can view your weather, which is in degrees Celsius. Unfortunately, can't change that. There is an option, but it doesn't work. It always stays in Celsius. But that's really the only major bug I've found on it so far. So let's go through some of the features on this watch. So you obviously have your main screen. You have a pedometer. You have training modes, so running, bicycling, swimming, badminton, and hiking, I think, are the options. You have a heart rate sensor, which is actually a real heart rate sensor, which is quite nice. Some of these are indeed fake. This one is real, and it couldn't detect that I was there, so that's actually a good sign. It's a real sensor. I don't know how accurate it is, but it seems okay. I don't have a good way of actually testing that. It's supposed to actually be able to give you your blood pressure. I don't know, again, how accurate this is, but it does seem to react depending upon what, so like if I run up and down the stairs a bunch of times, it goes up. I mean, that may not be a good thing, but at least for me, that's what happens. So it seems to at least react, so that's good. SpO2, I think, is blood oxygen level or something like that. I don't know how it can determine that, but it does seem to kind of correspond with the blood pressure and stuff as well. It's doing something. I don't know how it's determining these, but at least they're not like a completely fake mode. You have a sleep tracker, which I believe you just start and stop. Fairly basic. You have your basic little stopwatch functionality. You have your messages. I won't go in there because I actually have a few unread ones and I don't really want to show you what's on that, and although I'm sure it's nothing major. You have your weather display, as I said. This is in degrees Celsius. It doesn't seem to be able to change to Fahrenheit. And then under More, press and hold to get into the menu. You have an option to find your phone. Information about that. You can change your watch face, reset the device, power the device off, or exit back. We will exit back. So that's a quick little look at the hardware of the watch. Or at least the operating system on it. Now let's discuss the actual build quality of this thing. The band is quite thin. It's actually extremely thin, but it's a fairly nice material. It's a like a soft plastic almost. It's not really rubbery. It doesn't have that like grippy sense to it. It doesn't feel like an expensive material, but it also doesn't feel bad when you're wearing it. So I give it a pass for the band material. I quite like it. The clasp is sturdy enough. I don't think it's going to break on us. Now, as far as charging goes, you actually undo the band off the sides, and there is a little plastic piece that juts out at an angle that is a USB connector, sort of. It plugs into a USB port. Now, these bands are extremely difficult to get off, and you kind of feel like you're breaking it when you're doing it. But, that being said, I've charged this a week ago, and it's still going strong, so you don't have to do it very often. So, that's not bad. Now, let's take a look at the application that runs this thing. The app is called iBand. And let's get it back to the main menu. So it's really just kind of mirroring what's on the watch itself. You have your step count, sleep tracker, heart rate, blood oxygen, blood pressure. So your main basic functions that are on the watch. And it will graph these out over time, and it works fairly well. It pulls the data down just fine. It also forwards your messages to the watch, text messages and calls. That works very nicely. And so basically it does all the same stuff that these kind of generic-y watches tend to do, and this is actually not a bad piece of software. I'm fairly impressed with it. It works reliably. There's a few little bugs here and there. If we go into the settings, you can see that there is the watch. It is connected, and it will give you the battery life of it. Battery capacity 58%, it says. So after a week, it's down to a little over half battery. Now, I haven't been using it that whole time, but it has been running that entire time, so I consider that pretty darn good. You have an option to find the watch, which will make it buzz really obnoxiously. We won't do that, but it does work. Smart screen, which is twist to wake, that works as well. I forgot to mention that when talking about the watch, but you can set that in here. You have options for your heart rate sensor, screen settings, and then the thing that I am most excited about on this watch, you can actually set custom watch faces. So you have your basic 3 down here that you can choose from, and then you can go up and build your own. So you can choose where the text is, you can set background images, you can set the colors of all the text, you can move it around on the screen. It's really quite cool. So yeah, this is actually above and beyond what the majority of these watches allow you to do. So really, really, really impressed with that. That's pretty cool, and it does work. But yeah, we also have the option of these slightly more basic faces down here, and then this one's actually probably my favorite, which is just a little analog watch view. So I quite like the look of that. It looks kind of futuristic and nice. So yeah, the app is not bad. And when I first paired it to it, it actually did a firmware update on the watch, and it worked perfectly. So that's also something that I was not expecting. So yeah, that's actually supported with firmware updates. It has a really nice little application behind it. The only gripe I have is I can't get the temperature on the weather forecast to change from Celsius to Fahrenheit. But aside from that, I really like this device, and I don't really use the weather forecast on it anyway. If I want to look at that, I'm just going to go to my little My Radar app on here, which is my preferred way of getting weather information. Anyway, that being said, I really like this watch. It's really inexpensive. It's like sub $10, free shipping, and it does the business. It really does. It gets excellent battery life. It's built well. It's supposed to be waterproof. We will test that in a later video. If you guys want to see that, leave a comment down below if you want to see me dunk this thing underwater for a couple of hours, and we'll give it a shot. But I didn't want to destroy it at a time for this video. I have run it, like I have been wearing it and washed my hands and stuff and intentionally splashed water on it. No problems so far. So as of now, it's holding up well, but I guess we can put it through its paces here later on. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do leave comments, suggestions, anything for other devices you would like to see, and we will keep these coming. Until next time, guys, stay safe and have a good one.